How different would your life have been? Let me read this to you. Dear Linda and J-H-O-N, or J-O-N, I really like that we got to pick our positions like Wordmasters and Timer. I think we should have had more opportunities to speak in an actual speech. Not that we don't. It's just maybe the people that don't speak often, you help them make more speeches. I wanted to do a speech, but I was too shy. I'm just saying you should encourage the people like me. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our guests, David and Susan. That could be appropriate to say to anyone that you were talking about Toastmasters, why we're here. Because people don't like to admit that they're uncomfortable in front of a group. This was written by a 10-year-old. This has been something that I've become really involved with in the last while because my mentor, a gentleman named Fred Jones, is working for the district, which is above us, and he works the whole province to try and develop programs like this. I've gone to Greater Victoria Library, and they're really helpful with the ability to run an Oak Bay program early in the year, and then I just finished one with Saanich. And what they do is they help us with registration. We all have to have criminal record checks. We need to make sure that they help us with photocopying and little things like that. So what happens is the opportunity presents itself to run an 8-week course. Now, I've been working with what they call junior youth leadership, which is actually a bit of a stretch because Toastmasters actually has a program called youth leadership, which is 11 to 17 years old because you need to be 18 to come into Toastmasters. I've been working with 7 to 12-year-olds. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that experience. I'm going to start off with sending you, yes, you can look at this information while I'm speaking to you, but it's really poignant that I pass this on to you and you just see what's going on in these little minds. We do an evaluation after the course is done and ask the children, what is it? We usually have a standardized form. Well, I was away and Linda ran this and she, 5 minutes before it's finished, they all hand wrote their answers to, well, printed, I should say. They all printed out their thoughts about the course. And as you spin through this, I'm just going to pass this on to Allie. You can have a look and just see how up front these young people are and how much it did for them. I spent yesterday meeting Logan in front of my house, giving him his certificate after 8 weeks because he wasn't able to attend the last meeting. Then I met Helen, who it's taken me 8 weeks to be able to learn how to say her name properly. I met her and her parents in the White Spot parking lot so I could get them their certificate. And these children, I'm able to go up to them and go, thank you for being in my program, and they just loved it. Again, I ask you, what would your life have been like if you had the chance to do something like this at 7 to 12 years old? I'm just going to put these down here, and you can pass them either way. But these are evaluations that were done on a speech that I did at a Gavel Club. So these children are up to 17 years old, but it kind of shows you that there's no fear in them. They're quite happy to tell you, John, you had 5 ums, 3 ahs, and 2 ands. John, you need to focus a little bit more on individuals. You look a little nervous when you're up there. And I'll tell you, when I come away from one of those meetings, yes, you know, I sit there and I cringe, but they all laugh at you. We ended up with 16 children. And they're all laughing at you, have a good old time, and you've got to sit there and it's not like being with us that we would never laugh at anybody, but it's a really valuable lesson. Now, you're not going to be able to see these props too well, but if you're coming to our party tomorrow night at the Strathcona Hotel in the Maple Room, you will see that I'm going to be advertising our youth leadership. And I'm also going to pass this around because this is kind of like a little Bible. What it is a inside here is each roll has a little card that sits up in front of them, and it has something that they can read off, because every meeting what we do is we have them all read off the rolls so they begin to learn how to know what the roll is. Now I'll just pass this along so you can look at that. Now I get to brag a little bit here. This is my Oak Bay News article that I got in with one of our young girls, 9 years old. This is the feedback that I got from the first session. I took it and collated and all these little answers in here. We also went to a professional and got an elevator speech ready. And the elevator speech for youth leadership is a program that offers a safe environment for youth to develop their confidence and leadership skills while making new friends. It's fun, it's free. Now, you can see that young children, when they get a name tag, they put their own little mark on it. This one has butterflies. It has crystals coming out of the edge of it, a moon, a sun. It is just phenomenal to see each one of these individuals create their own little world, and then they bring it to you. Here is their certificates. Here's a word of the day. Look at how artistic that is. This is what we do here. Is this was a name tag that what they would do is twist the edges, and they would get to print their name with felt pen on the other side of it. And each one of them made their own little artistic statement on it. There was pointillism. There was flowers. There was skulls. And when I asked a 9-year-old, I said, "What's with the skulls?" "Oh, I don't know. I just like skulls." So you learn all kinds of things from them. There's my evaluation forms on there. There's a standard agenda. And since it's time to wrap up, I do want to say to you, just what would it have been like if you had had the opportunity to be able to learn the skills that you're learning right now and be able to take them into life at 7 to 12 years old? Mr. Joseph.